Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Danielle Alana for those who are new here. I'm sure it's a lot of y'all. The title of this video, don't want to make the intro long, why I left teaching. So I'm gonna try to sum it up, and I don't want this video to be too long, but I always see people making these videos and they get so emotional, and I don't know if that will happen to me, but just to give y'all some background, I have been an educator for 8 years, so nearly a decade, because you gotta count when I was in school studying to be a teacher, because that's just not nothing. Like, it took me over 5 years to get my degree, and now I've been working in the field for 8 years. So 8 years in education. If I get winded, I apologize. I'm currently 6 months pregnant, so I've been working for 8 years as an educator. And I remember my first years. I have a podcast, so I'll put the link down in the description below so y'all can tune in, because I talk all things education. But I just remember the joy that I had in my first few years, like how I loved teaching. And they say if you can't put your whole heart into something, at that point you should take yourself out. So I think that's kind of where I am, but I kind of want to recap my last year, my 8th year of teaching, briefly. I won't be able to encompass everything in this one video, but this year has been the nail in the coffin for me. So I relocated from Georgia to South Carolina, currently teaching in the city of Columbia, South Carolina. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to work in an urban school district so I could teach students who looked like me. Like, I've always done that. I've always worked in the urban setting, with the exception of 3 years when I worked in a rural school. But my other school before this was in the urban setting. So I wanted that same thing here in Columbia. We can put a pandemic in the mix. The pandemic, though, isn't the reason that I'm leaving. I'm leaving because how teachers are treated in this country, and it's not just here at my school, even though I work at a horrible school. It's everywhere. And how do I know this? Because I speak to countless teachers every single day on my Instagram about just the ridiculousness and how no one will let us do what we need to do, which is teach. I thought that coming to South Carolina, I would be able to teach students, but there was so many regulations telling me what time I needed to teach, what I needed to teach, the exact subject, the exact. You need to be teaching text features at 8 a.m. and you better not be 15 minutes off of your schedule, because we're going to be coming in and we're going to be watching you. So constant observations, my anxiety was through the roof, because I didn't know when I signed up in the interview, but I was interviewing for a very small school, and I was not interviewed, guys, baby brain. I was getting observations like 3 times a week, like literally, legitimately, over 3 times a week. I came down with COVID. Me and my husband both got it. We were out, well, I was out of work for a month because I had a kind of a severe case. It was mild, but kind of on the severe side. So I was out for a month because after having COVID, I just felt so tired. Like, I did not feel like myself. So I was out of school for a month. 2 days after I returned on Monday. On Tuesday, I was observed. So maybe 1 day after I returned, I was getting teaching observations. And then the rest of that week, it was observations, and some of them lasted for over 2 hours. The observation itself lasted for over 2 hours, and they had to submit my observation to the State Department to tell if I know y'all keep seeing these shadows. I'm in front of a road and the cars keep coming by. I'm like looking at that in the background like, what, am I the only one in this room? But anyways, I was getting observed for like 2 hours. 2 hours in one setting, getting a teaching observation, which was just wild. And there's so many other things, but just it's the disrespect for me. How nobody respects us as professionals. Nobody respects us to make our own decisions. Like, there was so many things that I couldn't do this year, and I was told I couldn't do it. Like, they don't even give us permission to change the background of our computer. We can't change the desktop image. It has to be the same for every single person in the district. And not only that, just so many rules and regulations about teaching as a practice. And even though I came with 7 years of experience, I have experience of how to move students, I wasn't necessarily allowed to implement my own strategies because this is what you're supposed to be using. This comes from the district. This is how we want you to do it. We're going to come in your room, we're going to watch and make sure you're doing it this way. So my students were very behind, and that made me feel, of course, horrible. But what is worse than that is the demoralization of knowing that you have the skills and you have the tools to help them, but you can't because your hands are tied. It hurt. It hurt. Every single Monday after school, I was expected to stay at the school until 4:30. My arrival time every morning was 7 a.m. So that's 9 hours and 30 minutes once a week. And that adds up, and you have a 30-minute commute in there. That's a 10-hour day every single Monday. And we had just long, drawn-out faculty meetings where we accomplished nothing all year. But every Monday, we were required to have them. It was just no real support from my administration, a lot of fake support. So when I say fake support, they would often say, "We're here to help you. Let me know, bleeding. Let me know if you need anything because I'm here to help." But it was not help. It was always, "You're not doing this right. You're not doing this right." And then you say, well, give me this. "I'm sorry, I can't do that." So it was fake support. I noticed when I came into your classroom, you used a drawing to model fractions. Why didn't you use something else? I don't have fraction bars. I was never given fraction bars. Well, you should have improvised. So it was just so much. Like, it was so heavy just thinking about everything that I had going on in a new city, brand new newlywed, and then being at a school where you're constantly disrespected, constantly not appreciated. I'll give another example. I found out I was pregnant. Principal acted like he saw a ghost when I told him. Constantly referred to my pregnancy as my situation. And to make matters worse, there was one day, I had a very bad scare. I had a nightmare about school, and I woke up in the middle of the night. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had a nightmare about school. I can't even remember what it was about, but I was frightened. And when I woke up, I had pelvic pain, like I'm hurting. And I was like, oh my God, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I need to call my doctor. I need to see what's going on, all of this. I'm stressed out. I immediately start calling my doctor. And then I wanted to do the right thing. So I sent a email message to my principals. And I was like, hey, I may not be able to come in this morning. I'm giving you guys the heads up now. I'm waiting for a call back from my doctor. I went ahead and put the absence in the system just in case I need to be out. I was trying to be so proactive. At 5:30 in the morning, I got an email back that said, your absence is unapproved and unauthorized. And I just remember crying my eyes out in the shower, and I'm tearing up. 5:30 in the morning, I'm in the shower bawling just because I'm trying so hard to do the right thing, and I'm constantly met with resistance. So I wound up being in the emergency room all that day, like the emergency room. Just the way that I was treated in this state. South Carolina has a real good track record for trying to get teachers' license suspended. So I wanted to quit. There were so many moments where I did, and I contacted the Teachers Association. They were like, well, your license will probably be suspended if you quit. And even down to when I did quit, I turned in my letter of resignation that said I would finish this school year. And today's the last day of school, that I would finish this school year. My principal asked me, is this effective immediately? And he asked that question because if I would have said yes, he would have reported me for breach of contract to have my license suspended for 1 year. It's a game to them. It's all a game. And as bad as we need teachers in this state, teachers are not treated with respect. The pay, I took a pay cut to come here, so I'm sorry if this video is all over the place, but I'm just going off the dome of some of the things that happened and how crazy it was. And I know that I'm not even scratching the surface of all the things, but it was quite terrible. I asked if PE could not be held in my classroom because of droplets being spread in the air. I was told no, that's not an option. The students will continue to participate in PE inside of the classroom, even though there was a gymnasium. Like, none of the things that they did made any sense. Like, none of it. Like, our COVID numbers were so high, and they refused to close schools. We were still expected to teach through it. Like, whatever, teach through it. And I'm convinced that I got COVID at school because I was fine. I returned for like hybrid instruction, and one of my students was coughing, and I was like, that's weird, but I didn't know what to do because we had just gotten back. So I said, are you feeling okay? And she said, it's just my allergies. So I took the kid's word for it. 3 days later, I am sick. Like, I got a fever, like, it's terrible. I called my principal and I was like, hey, I'm kind of showing COVID symptoms. I have a fever. He said, I understand that, but I want to make sure the kids are good. Did not care. There were so many times where they proved that they did not care about my life or my livelihood. I could have died this year and nobody would have batted an eye, and I know that to be a reality, so that is why I decided to leave. You know, being pregnant and being concerned about my baby. There was an incident where I had to send 4 or 5 students, can't remember at the time. I'm pregnant. I was like 4 or 5 months. I had to send 4 or 5 students to the office because they were showing COVID symptoms. A lot of them just in my class started saying, I have a headache, I have a sore throat. Come to find out, 2 or 3 of my students actually had fevers. They sent 2 or 3 home, but the others who were actively coughing on me, my kids were being so sweet, said, I've been trying to hold in my cough because I understand that my teacher is pregnant and I don't want to make her sick. So my kids were coughing on me, and they sent them back to my classroom and said, nothing's wrong with them. So, like, what do you think? They should come clean my classroom. They should do something right. No, nothing was done. So I just remember being so mad, and that was the day that I lost it. Like, I basically think about Jesus in the scene where he flips over the tables. I let my principal have it, and I told him I was leaving that day and I was taking a sick day. Like, I'm out of here. So if you cannot protect my safety, if you can't protect me at all, you can't protect my baby, I'm gone. And he was telling me, how could I say that I am getting ready to leave and go home for the day when I didn't ask him permission to leave? It was just situations like that happened so many times. And I just decided I can't do it anymore. So I left. I turned in my resignation letter that was effective at the end of the school year. I am preparing for the birth of my son. praying for safe labor, praying for safe delivery, and I'm going to stay at home with him. I'm in a very fortunate position financially that I am able to do so, and I'm very thankful to God. But if you are a teacher watching this and you want to get out, what I want to say is, don't just make a rash decision. You have to prepare for that. And you have to get yourself in a place financially where you can do so, where you can decide that if you need to take time off, if you want to leave, if you want to step away, whatever you want to do, financially, you'll be able to afford to do so. And I read a lot of financial books. I saved my money. I've really been saving since January 2020, and it is now June 2021. So a year and a half, I think, I don't know, a year and a half, and I am in a place where I could say, I'm good. I'm walking away. I know this video has been all over the place, but I apologize again. And the last thing that I will say is, I'm not completely leaving education, but I'm stepping away from teaching. I don't know if I'll be back. I have a master's degree in education, so I do have the option to come back if I would like to do so. But as of now, I'm stepping away. A lot of people have been asking me about my next steps, and that's a boundary that I'm choosing to keep right now. When I'm ready, when the time is right, I will share exactly what I'll be doing next, but I'm not quite ready to share that now. So I hope this video resonates in any way. You can check out me on Instagram. I love to connect with teachers, y'all. I love helping teachers. So right now we have about 14,000 teacher friends who have connected so far. We have newsletter, podcasts, and our website is launching soon. So I'm absolutely thrilled about that. And if this is the first time you're watching my video, you should consider subscribing. Bye.